Okay, so I wanted to make another video to talk about something that I've been seeing a lot in other people's videos. I've been seeing a lot of people post videos of problems with their dreads and just like complaining about small things that are wrong with their dreads, which is totally normal. Like, you obviously want your dreads to be perfect and like how you want them to look, but dreads take time. Like, it's really all about patience, and I really just want everyone who's worried about something specific about their dreads to watch this and just be at ease, because it's all Mother Nature's work, and I promise you, if you just hear me out, your dreads will be perfect in the end. You don't have to worry about anything. Like, leaving them alone, I really feel, is the best method, because you don't have to put in so much effort and worry about it, because it's all going to turn out in the end. So I just wanted to go over like a few like main things that I know people are worried about with their dreads. I wrote them down because I always get like confused on what I'm talking about and scatterbrained, but one thing I saw someone complaining about was, or worrying about I should say, is their ends not dreading up. That's something that will definitely, that's probably the last thing that's going to dread up, honestly, along with the roots, which I was also going to talk about. Your roots and ends are the very last thing that are going to dread, but they will dread, and that's something that just happens on its own. Like, I saw someone's video that said that they're just going to every day keep backcombing the ends, and then the ends will fall back out, and they'll backcomb again. Like, backcombing for your hair is not healthy. Like, yes, you can do it once and get away with it, and your hair most likely will be in good shape still, but if you do that all the time, your hair's not gonna be very healthy. Like, say this is your hair follicles, when you backcomb it, you're roughening it up. Like, it's as if you take a snake and brush it backwards. It's rougher than the other way. Like, it's just not healthy for your hair. And if you understand what I'm saying. Also, your roots, I'm guessing, I want to say, will dread after your ends. I mean, I feel like your ends will dread before your roots, but like, there's always going to be, it's normal to have 2 to 3 inches of just normal hair, and probably more than that. Like, some people have a lot of undreaded hair, and it just takes a while, and you just have to wait it out. And honestly, I think it looks really natural when you don't have all the way dreaded hair. Like, just, I like the natural look, I guess. Also, loops. As you can see, I have a whole lot of those. Those are not something you need to worry about. My recommendation is, do not put beads over the loops. I know some people will slide a bead, and like, it's a pretty tight fit, and they'll slide it right onto the loop so it holds the loop down, and over time it helps it knot up, and it does help it knot up, but it doesn't allow the hair to dread on its own. And I had a bunch of beads in my hair, and every time I'd get out of the shower, they'd be impossible to get off, because when you get out of the shower, that's when your dreads will tighten up, and right where the bead is, it can't tighten up. So I wouldn't do that. Just don't try to cover up your loops. That's how they dread. And loops are, the reason that you get loops is because, like, this part right here, as you can see, hasn't looped up yet, but loops happen because certain parts of the dread are tightening, and then that causes like this part to be loose still, but like that part will eventually dread up. And also, sleeping on it, washing it, you know, just forgetting about it and letting it do its own thing. When you sleep on it, it rolls around, and like eventually it will roll around and it will round out. Like, I have a lot of loopy dreads that are flat, and well, I did, and they're already starting to round out. Like, I haven't touched them, I haven't palm ruled, I don't do any of that, and they already round out. Like, this one right here, if you can see that used to be extremely loopy, like my loopiest dread, and right here it's already really rounding out, and I can tell that this part's about to round out too. And they're just already feeling so much rounder, and that's basically just me promising you that your dreads will not always be loopy and flat. They'll definitely round out after, I would say around the 8-month mark, they'll start rounding out. That's what I've always heard, and like, according to my pace, that's what I'm probably going to be at. Your dreads coming apart or falling out is another thing that people worry about. Honestly, just think about how people do the natural method. There's no way that your hair is not going to dread up if you just let it dread and you're not combing through it. So you don't have to worry about your dreads falling out. When I first did my hair, I backcombed it, and my brother actually did it because he knew how to backcomb and how to do it and everything, and I kept saying, do you think that, like, we're backcombing it good enough? Are they really going to stay in? And, like, my brother kept telling me, yes, like, no matter how you backcomb them, like, even if you barely did, if you just leave them alone, they're going to dread. So that's another thing. After you backcomb, I would recommend that you don't shower, like, right away. Maybe wait a day or two, and be really gentle when you do wash them. But, if they fall out a little bit, just let them be. Like, you don't have to worry, they're going to dread up eventually. Like, I promise you, like I said, Mother Nature will do its thing. Bald spots, this only really happens if you're doing dreadlocks the natural method. This happens too, but more when you do it yourself, like backcombing or twisting and ripping. When you section your hair, maybe you didn't section it like where your hair feels like going, so you might have certain bald spots or like places where like there's not a dread there, so it kind of looks empty. Like, for example, this is kind of like a bald spot for me, so I just stuck this hair and put it like right into place. And it doesn't really want to stay there, so it keeps going back, but those like spots, your dreads will just like calm down and go where they should be, and like those spots will definitely eventually get covered up, and your dreads will be equal around your head. Like, everything just works out eventually. Last thing that I had on here was loose hair. I'm sure that you've all who have had dreads for like over a month or so have seen that loose hair slowly disappears. It's really amazing, actually, but that's why when you see people with really mature dreadlocks, they're so separated, like they don't have hair in between. Like, mine are slowly looking more and more like that, but obviously, like, there's still hairs that haven't joined in with the dread, but that happens over time. And like I said, sleeping and showering, just doing like the natural things that you do really help make it so those loose hairs like find a dread, and like they find where they need to be. But yeah, I would recommend that you shower. Don't wait to shower. It's all up to you, I guess, but like I said in my last video, I waited and showered I washed my dreads maybe once a week, and it like made it so my hair was like had a lot more oils in it. Like, I wet it, but I didn't like shampoo it, and so like I noticed some of my like dreads that weren't dreading up were like, I know this is kind of gross, but they were like oilier, if you can understand that. So they weren't like, the hairs weren't knotting. Like, when your hair is drier without any oil on it, it knots up better. So when I started showering every other day, my hair shrunk drastically, and obviously I like long hair, but that's a really good sign for dreads, and I'm sure you guys know that. Also, if you are worried about your hair shrinking up so much that you're losing length, that only happens to a certain point. Like, I think I'm almost like all shrunken up. I probably have a ways to go with like these bottom dreads because they're not shrinking as much, but like the top has shrunk a lot, and I'm at 4 months right now. So yeah, I'm thinking at about 6 to 8 months you're gonna get that length back after they've finished shrinking up. They're going to start tightening up, and you're going to like get a little bit of that length back, but they're still going to grow at a slower pace. But really, that's not something that you need to worry about either, because you're going to get some of the length back, so you don't got to worry about that. But yeah, I really just wanted to go over a bunch of the things that I've seen and some of the videos I've been watching, just people like worrying about and saying that I hate when I hear people say that they hate their dreads. Like, it's something that's such a natural hairstyle that everyone's dreads are beautiful. I've never seen someone's dreads who aren't beautiful. And to say that you hate your dreadlocks, that's why you have dreadlocks. I feel like you're getting away from the fact that before, when you had normal hair, I feel like that's the time when like you should be worried about how your hair looks, and like, I don't know, I feel like you're a little more vain when you are constantly having to have perfect hair. But when you make the choice to have dreadlocks, you kind of know that they're not going to look perfect for a while. They're really not. Like, it's going to take a while for them to look how you've always imagined them looking. But, like, I personally promise that they will eventually look exactly how you've always wanted them. You just have to love your dreads right as they are in the phase that they're in, whether it be the crazy, like, teenage rebelling phase or the baby dreads or anything. Just, you really should enjoy every single phase, because once your dreads, like someone commented on my last video and said, once your dreads are rounded out and mature, you're going to miss the loops and you're going to miss the other phases, which I think is totally true. But yeah, just what I basically want to say is love your dreads. Don't get frustrated with them. Know that they're gonna look good in the end, and you're going to be happy with them. You just have to just be tolerant with them. Yeah, I hope this kind of helped you guys out, or maybe gave you some insight to just loving your dreads no matter what phase they're in. But if you guys want to comment or inbox me, I'd love to hear about your dreads or see pictures of them or anything. But yeah, like, hope this helps you guys out. Well, have a good day. Bye.